Hey everybody, welcome to Films and Fermentation. We are back from our little mini holiday break. It is the middle of the week between Christmas and New Year's. We're getting ready to roll this shitstorm of a year into 2022. Hopefully 2022 will be much better than 2021 was.
Yeah.
From all types of reasons, both personal and otherwise. And for this episode, we're going to do a little year in review, talk about some of the films that dominated the box office this year. Weird thing to say when you consider a lot of it's probably HBO Max and Disney Plus and not as much ticket sales. Talk about some contenders for the award season that's coming up in February and March, and talk about our favorite films of the year. So in this episode, we're going to be looking back at the previous year and discuss those things together. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
This is episode 42 of Films and Fermentation. Please drop us a line at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit us on all of our social media platforms. Mike, what happened?
Episode is the answer to life and the universe and everything.
Which is not what happened this day in film history.
That would have been a good thing to put in there, though. His Douglas Adams' reason for the number 42 is he just felt that it was the funniest number for some reason. I don't know. So what's your day in film history factor, Mike?
This day in film history in 1965, Thunderball, the fourth James Bond film, starring Sean Connery, premieres in Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same one that they did a remake with Chris Klein? And they're on roller skates.
No.
Are you sure?
Different Thunderball.
Different Thunderball.
It's not Thunderball either. It's that was what the fuck was that called?
Rollerball?
Rollerball, I think. The original
was
one
it Rollerball?
Rollerball.
I think I'm mixing Rollerball and Thunderdome, Mad Max, and Rollerball.
And you get James Bond when you mix it.
And you get James Bond, Tina Turner, James Bond, Chris Klein.
Yeah, so Thunderball is James Bond. Thunderdome is Mad Max. Rollerball was originally James Caan, and then it was Chris Klein in the remake version. Oz from American Pie.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That was the rails.
that was a lot to deal with this early in the afternoon so far.
Yes, high five.
High five. Fun drink fact, Mike.
My fun drink fact is beer was used to treat over 100 illnesses in 1600 BC Egypt. It didn't say which ones, it just said over 100.
I'm assuming sprained ankle, pour a little beer on it.
Headache,
have a beer. That's what I have when I have a headache.
Got a rash, ass rash.
Ass rash. Like
annoying kids.
Hit them with a bottle. I'm starting to like the ancient world and their love of beer. We've had a few facts already about beer in the ancient world.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody listening out there today, or when we actually drop the episode, this is a first for us. We are recording in the early afternoon. Normally we do the recordings at night
because we're vampires.
Yeah, we're vampires, and we also work.
We also work.
But all three of us happen to be off this week for a little Christmas break, New Year's break, whatever. So we decided to do ourselves a little afternoon show, a little afternoon delight, we should say.
Day drinking.
Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. So I put down here, instead of our drink of choice, what is our afternoon cocktail? I'll go first.
Okay.
I couldn't bring it myself to drink beer or hard liquor, especially at noon. So I'm drinking what I consider a pretty good afternoon cocktail. I'm just having a cup of coffee with a shot of Irish cream in it.
Nice. I am close to what you're drinking. This was brought over from my brother-in-law, and I think his mom made it. It is Coquito, which is a little bit like Bailey's, but with coconut. So Coquito smells delicious.
I'm not a big coconut fan, so
I
It tastes even better.
Jack Daniel's Tennessee Apple on the rocks.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
My wife the other day, Christmas Day, we made a ham. She made the ham in the crock pot with, the usual stuff like syrup and brown sugar and all that. But she also put Jack Daniel's apple and Jack Daniel's honey
Okay.
into the oh my god, it was amazing. It was so good.
Nice.
It was one of the best hams I ever had.
Sounds like everything my wife would like but the ham.
All right. So we are breezing through this show right now. So let's get to our main segment of the day. Our main segment, we're going to be doing a little year in review. This might take a little longer than the rest of the show did because we're going to look at some movies that some of us have seen, some of us have not seen, and some of us vaguely have heard of probably. Here's the thing I'm going to say, because having done the research for this yesterday, of all the movies that are in the top 25 box office, very, very few of them, surprisingly, he says sarcastically, are in the award run.
Of course not.
Blockbusters never made the awards. Very, very rarely did a blockbuster make an award.
They used to at least get nominations, and then for some reason the Academy decided they had to be pretentious and only nominate art house films. Because I mean, like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King won Best Picture.
Yeah,
right.
You have to say that's a summer blockbuster.
No, it's true.
Got screwed the first 2 years. It was like
Braveheart won for Best Picture. That's some blockbuster film. Titanic won. Star Wars was nominated. For the first couple films. You had Indiana Jones was nominated. So like there was a time where they would at least nominate some of the blockbuster films.
Right.
That's when they cared about the people who were watching and what they wanted.
And now it's
just like whoa. Let's take the public opinion out of this.
Yeah. Now it's like pretentious.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, because the show's not long enough, adding a different category. So it'd be like Best Picture and Most Popular Picture. And I'm like, that kind of degrades the whole thing even more.
Yeah. Best boy.
Best boy, yeah. Then they should have like
best
actor,
key grip,
because they already do that with the Golden Globes. They have like Best Picture Drama and Best Picture Musical Comedy.
Best caterer.
Best caterer.
Best assistant to the best actor.
Best movie starring The Rock. That's a whole category right there. You got 28 films with The Rock in it. So we're gonna look at
double in an action movie.
I like that he's doing Victorian dramas now.
Oh yeah. I always bring up Family Guy skits whenever we think shit like that. And there's a Family Guy skit with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, co-starring in a Victorian romantic comedy called My Afternoon with Cavendish. And they're like in the rowboat together, and Arnold's rowing the boat, and Sylvester's sitting there with the umbrella, and they're speaking to each other in Victorian language. So we're gonna do the box office hits first, and then we'll talk about the pretentious Oscars, and talk about our own little favorite film so far. Which, as of the recording, the three of us have not seen Spider-Man: No Way Home yet. We are actually going to go see it this evening. So I'm thinking episode 43 might be a 3-man review of Spider-Man. So it's not going to be on my list of favorite movies of the year so far, just because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
three guys and a web slinger.
Yeah, this is a tentative favorite of the year so far. So box office hits. What I have here on my list is the name of the film. It's domestic box office and worldwide box office. And how many theaters it's showing in right now. So Spider-Man: No Way Home, which only premiered last week, is already number one for the year, having made $470 million plus worldwide. That's just in the opening weekend. That's insane. It's being
I think
shown...
that's a movie. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I was going to say that it's one of those movies like, I don't want to talk generationally, but like when I told my dad that there was a new Spider-Man, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I heard," and I was like, "No, but they're bringing in a lot of things from the previous Spider-Man movies, you know." And he's like, "Oh yeah," because he enjoyed the ones from the past. He enjoyed the one with Doc Ock. He enjoyed the one with the Green Goblin. I'm not spoiling anything now by telling you guys that they've been in the trailers already. So he's like, "Oh, how are they going to do that?" I said, "I don't know. We're going to have to go and watch."
So for the comic book nerds like us, we're excited about the introduction to the multiverse, which has already had a little bit of a go with the WandaVision show, with the What If series, and with the I just saw the trailer for the multiverse Doctor Strange movie that's coming out in May. They had a teaser trailer. It looks pretty good. So we're all excited for that reason. But for some people who are like casual fans, it's kind of like I really liked Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Let me go check him out in this movie. Or I really liked Andrew Garfield. At least I'm pretty sure they're in the movies just based on some of the things that I fucking accidentally saw online.
I've been keeping myself away just so I still don't know if they're actually in there or
not. There's certain things that I'm pretty sure the spoilers were out there, but there's others that I'm not sure if people were just messing with people, I did see something that said so Andrew Garfield had the best first Spider-Man film. Tobey Maguire had the best second Spider-Man film. And right now, Tom Holland has the best third Spider-Man film. So we'll see if that happens. But right now, it is dominating the box office. Not a big surprise.
No.
Number two is...
forever.
Yeah. Number two is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
It was enjoyable.
Was it? I really liked it. I thought the fight scene on the bus was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really cool fight scene. I liked the dynamic between the main character and his friend.
Aquafina.
Aquafina. She wasn't as annoying as I expected her to be. And it was like a typical Marvel film in that the first 2/3 were really, really enjoyable. I liked how they brought back Trevor Slattery. But the last third of the film was a giant CGI fight fest, and I'm like, I could have did without that. Could have did a little more drama with the father and the son and all that stuff.
Shadows of Black Panther.
Oh, that was that. Black Panther is an amazing film. So you get to that one-on-one.
Until you get to the one-on-one fight between him and Killmonger.
Yeah. Third on the list. What do you know? Another comic book film. This one a Sony property with ties to the MCU.
Fantastic Four.
Venom. Let there be carnage.
Oh, okay. Didn't see it. Want to see it though.
It was all right. It was all right. The first one, I like the first one a lot better.
So when they wrap it up into the MCU, then it'll be a lot better.
Now, yeah, there's an after credit stinger that wraps it into the MCU, and that's worth seeing.
Yeah.
The rest of it, like, you can spare yourself the other hour and a half of the movie and just watch the stinger, and you'll be okay. That one made $212 million. It's pretty good. I think that's more than the first film made. And the first film did better than I think most people expected. Black Widow it came in fourth for the year, but it's actually like I think a disappointing turnout for it. Like I think they were expecting more.
Right, but they dropped it at a time when COVID was still keeping people out of movie theaters. Everything was dropping on streaming networks, And wasn't that the big to-do between Scarlett Johansson and Disney?
Yeah, that they didn't tell her that they were dropping it on Disney Plus, so she wasn't getting like any of the revenue from it. I think they also
it was one of the first
delayed it.
Did they delay it? And it came out both in Disney Plus and the theaters
at the same time.
It was one of the first movies to come out in theaters.
And it was delayed a couple times too, which I think hurt its box office a little bit. That being said, I enjoyed it though. I really liked it.
Oh yeah.
I thought, she was good as Black Widow because she's been good as Black Widow, but to me, that movie was all about Florence Pugh.
And
David Harbour as Red Guardian. he
It
was
still fits.
he was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Have much energy.
Did you ever talk about me?
You'll name the pig after me.
My girls, your legends.
Your legends are dripping with blood. All right, so we take a break from comic book films when we get to number 5 on the list. Although based on the idiocy of some of the things I've seen in this film, it probably could have just been a comic book film. F9, The Fast Saga continues.
I don't watch the Fast Saga.
I
stopped after Fast 2. I think
stopped
Tokyo
after
Drift.
I stopped after the first one because I fucking hated that one. Like, and it's just gotten like more and more ridiculous. And they were making jokes about, oh, what could they do now? I guess they're going to go in space in this one. And hey, what do you know? They go to fucking space in a car with a rocket on it, driven by Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson. You know, it's plausible.
Well, it's because they're the only oil drillers that could go up there to break up the comet.
Yeah, yeah, right. They should for F10 or whatever the fuck they're gonna call it. I guess they're gonna have to like actually go to Mars or some shit now. Kevin's out of alcohol.
Oh,
how many are we in now? 5.
We are 5 in on a noon show.
See, I brought a second little bottle just in case.
I don't know where you gotta go later, Kev, but I hope it doesn't taint the results.
Funny you should mention taint.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from there.
Well, I guess we're going to the Eternals.
Number 6 brings us back to the MCU with the Eternals. I have not seen this yet. Have either of you guys seen
Or have
it?
I? No.
No, it's going to come out Disney Plus till next month.
I know. I'm figuring, like, because I haven't had a chance to go to the theater and I haven't been able to get a good download torrent on it. So I figured I'll wait for it to come on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that it's okay. I haven't really heard too much that made me think I needed to see it.
No, it wasn't one of those blockbuster MCU movies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I just think, I don't think it was like something that had to be seen.
yeah, it's like what, it's a bunch of it's a group of superheroes that not even hardcore Marvel fans know who they are, but
no, I mean it's like, it's the thing. It's like it's not like a world well-known property.
right.
So next on the list is the latest James Bond film, and actually the last film for Daniel Craig.
Are you sure? I've heard that before.
I heard like the previous film was supposed to be his last film.
Well, they advertised this as his last film,
and he already did like a whole like rap party thing with the cast and crew and all. Saying,
yeah. Well, you know what though? They also said Jay Leno was going to be off of Late Night, and look where we got there.
I don't know if that's comparable or not.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
But this
is that in post.
This is Daniel Craig again. It's supposed to be supposedly his last run. We have him reuniting with his co-star from Knives Out, Ana de Armas. She is the Bond girl in this film, and I need to share this with you real quick because that is why I'm in love with her. Ana de Armas.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm missing something.
And you didn't see it, Mike?
No.
Oh well.
Oh damn!
I have to show it to you later.
I got left.
So I haven't actually seen hardly any of the Daniel Craig ones. Like I saw Casino Royale, and what was the second one? Quantum of Solace.
Skyhook.
The Skyfall.
Skyfall.
And then Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, I think he's a good one.
I like them in Casino Royale. Yeah, I just
good.
haven't really seen any of the other ones.
Yeah.
Number 8 on the list is A Quiet Place Part 2.
I didn't see Quiet Place Part 1.
Quiet Place
It
was
good.
very good. I
It was a
liked
very
it.
good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
So I'd see a Quiet Place Part 2. Yeah.
It was an interesting take on a horror film. You know, it's about a creature that hunts by sound, so everybody has to be like completely silent. One of the children actors in the film is actually a deaf actress,
Mhm.
and so like, you know, her character is sort of like the one that you kind of follow. Written and
It falls
directed.
into the Cloverfield universe.
Yeah.
No, just messing with you. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems like it should be though.
I wouldn't have liked it as much.
Yeah.
I didn't really like Cloverfield. Quiet Place Part 2. I haven't seen it, but I kind of want to see it just because they were both written and directed by John Krasinski and star him and his wife, Emily Blunt. Number 9 is Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
That looked funny.
It looked funny.
It does look funny.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Again, it's another one that it's like on my list of movies that I want to try to catch soon. He plays an NPC in a video game who starts to gain sentience and realize that, you know, he's part of a game.
Yep.
And it seems to me it's kind of like, you know, it's the typical Ryan Reynolds, like, you know, watered down Deadpool character.
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall.
It's kind of like a funny version of the Matrix.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I know there's a scene in it I saw online where he's fighting an upgraded version of himself in the game, and he picks up a Captain America shield to fight the version of himself with, and they cut to Chris Evans watching it on his phone, and he goes, "What the shit?" I was like, that was a cool little Chris Evans like cameo.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Afterlife, another one I haven't got to see yet.
I wish I had.
Yeah, I was going to try to see it. I was going to try to see it this week, and I just haven't had a chance to. You know, for being off on Christmas vacation, I really haven't had much time.
Exactly.
kind of do stuff.
Yeah.
It has pretty good reviews. Some of the people that I've talked to have seen it, have said it's you know, it's pretty enjoyable. It's better than the 2016 reboot. And that they do a nice little like tribute to Harold Ramis in the film as well.
Good.
Since he passed since the, you know, filming of it.
Yeah.
Next one is Jungle Cruise.
I haven't yet to see it.
It wouldn't be a top box office list if there wasn't a Rock movie on there somewhere.
Isn't this a second movie for both The Rock and for Emily Blunt? Emily Blunt being in The Quiet Place 2, The Rock being part of the Fast Furious franchise?
He's part of the Fast Furious franchise, but I don't think he was in the last one.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he was in
that.
F9. John Cena was in it, yeah. He plays Vin Diesel's brother in F9.
Okay.
I mean,
The Rock. I think The Rock and Vin Diesel don't really get along well. So
they're not interchangeable.
No, they actually both have something in their contract that states that neither one of them can lose a fight in the Fast and Furious films.
Oh wow.
Because they're afraid how it would make their character look. You know, because there's a lot of depth to those characters. Yeah. Getting back to the Jungle Cruise again, yeah, I haven't seen it either.
It's on Disney Plus now.
It is on there now, so I probably will take a look at it at some point.
Yeah.
Number 12 on the list is Godzilla versus King Kong. I'll be honest, I didn't even know there was a Godzilla versus King Kong.
I saw it. It was it's a enjoyable. It's not deep. It's not. It's you know. It's just you're going to sit down and watch it. Yeah, and that's it. You're just going to sit down and watch that, and that's it. You know.
Number 13 on the list is Dune. I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I thought it was very well done. I liked that Denis Villeneuve decided to do a two-parter and not try to cram everything into one film like David Lynch did. I'm excited for the second half, but I have to wait till 2023 for it, I think.
Well, like I said, I went to go watch it this week. I'm home, and HBO Max, and they're like, you can rent it for this $25, or you can buy it for. I'm like, I ain't doing neither.
I'll let you know that you can get that one on Cinema HD.
Okay,
that's how I watched it. So, 14 is Halloween Kills.
Didn't see it.
It's the latest in the Halloween franchise,
right.
which has more timeline issues than Terminator and Star Trek combined.
I was never a big
They
Jason
have more
Voorhees fan.
timeline issues than Doctor Who.
Doctor Who makes more sense.
Oh, wow.
I need to correct you there, Kevin. It is not Jason Voorhees. That's Friday the 13th. This is Michael Myers. On the Halloween franchise. So yeah, I can't say much about that either. Number 15 is a recent release for Disney, Encanto.
Yeah, it just came out on Disney Plus.
Just came out on Disney Plus. It looks cute.
Yeah.
It's a your typical Disney film, I guess.
Yeah.
Another Disney film follows that. In 16th place, Cruella.
The live
that I enjoyed. That was good.
The origin of Cruella de Vil. Well, I like Emma Stone. I kind of enjoy her in whatever she does.
And Emma Thompson did a very good job.
And again, another Disney film. Like Disney is dominating the box office right now.
Yeah.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
I don't watch remakes either.
I didn't like the first one that much, so I mean, and I don't know if I don't even know how to say this. Like, does LeBron?
I have my issues with how they redrew some of the characters.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
I'm kidding.
You missed the sexy Lola Bunny.
See, I didn't even know what her name was. I heard that garbage going out on social media. I was like, are you kidding me? You want a sexier animated figure?
Well,
that's a bunny.
Because the original one was kind of like anthropomorphized in a way that, like, she looked like a bunny, but she also looked like a woman. You also had
a rabbit into a rabbit.
You also had Pepe Le Pew in the first one, but he's been banned from Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, like, I don't know who has more charm, LeBron James or Michael Jordan, because neither one of them really did it for me in either movie.
Well, at least the first one, had Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray. Yeah.
True.
I also liked how they tied in the original his baseball career as an excuse to play basketball again. Number 18 is The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Sure, he did.
I saw the first Conjuring.
I did too.
It had a decent amount of like jump scares in it. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be based on the case files of the Warrens, who were like a real couple that did paranormal investigations in the 60s and 70s. But then they started to like build this whole like Conjuring universe. So there's like 3 Conjuring films. There's the Annabelle films, which all have to do with the Warren family. So, I saw the first one. I'm good. I don't need to see anymore.
Agreed.
Candyman, which is a remake of a 90s horror film.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. The first one, the original one was okay. The only thing that draws me to seeing this one is it's written by Jordan Peele, who did Get Out and Us. And they were pretty good films.
Yeah.
So I might catch that at some point. Number 20.
I'll catch it when it comes on cable.
Same thing, yeah. Number 20 is The Boss Baby Family Business. Again, I'll be honest, I didn't realize there was another Boss Baby film. I saw
really? It was.
I only knew
where for it.
Yeah, I only knew about the other films because my nieces and nephews watch them all like on rotation. The Addams Family. This is an animated film. I know nothing about it other than it's the Addams Family.
No Christina Ricci. I'm not watching.
No Christina Ricci. No. I was disappointed that this was as low on the list as it was, and that's The Suicide Squad, the reboot, whatever you want to call it. The James Gunn Suicide Squad, which was really, really enjoyable. Really funny. I like the whole little swerve.
At all.
Yeah, like I like the whole little swerve at the beginning where you think it's the one group and then it turns out to be the other one. And John Cena and Idris Elba were really funny in it, playing off of each other. Margot Robbie.
I was just happy that Pete, what's his name? Pete.
He got killed right away.
That he got killed right away.
Pete
Can't stand him. Yeah.
You and a lot of people. That was like the main sentiment from the film, I think, was thank God the Weasel lived.
He's
thank
done.
God Pete Davidson died.
Yes.
But it was I thought it was a really enjoyable film. I love the last line of villain before it dies at the end, Starro, and it's like it kind of makes you feel bad for him at the end. Where he's like, "Oh, I was so happy just floating around in space." And Margot Robbie is, of course, Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Another Disney.
Didn't see it, but I know it's available.
I kind of watched it in like dribs and drabs. My nieces and nephews were over one night, and I put it on for them, and I was kind of like in and out of the room, kind of catching little bits and pieces of it. It looked interesting. It really nice animation. It's another Aquafina joint, so I don't know. She seems a little more annoying in this than she did in Shang-Chi. But I might, and again, it's another one I might catch at some point. Clifford, the Big Red Dog. Okay.
Well,
so I waited in line for this one, camped out, and gotta tell you, kind of
woke up going, why am I the only one camping out right now?
Police came around a couple times, said you can't be doing this, pick up your bottles of urine.
Yeah.
But
I want to go watch the movie.
I did top 25 just so I could include the M. Night Shyamalan joint Old, which is 25th on the list. I watched this. I did feel older after I finished watching it. It was another bizarre Shyamalan film that has to force a twist in there. Actually, there were like multiple twists in the film. There were some good performances in it. The girl from Jojo Rabbit, who's the girl that what the hell's her name? Thomasin McKenzie. She's the one that Scarlett Johansson is hiding in the film.
Yeah.
She stars in it. She's really good.
She's coming up. She was just in that Last Night of Soho.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet either. I've heard good things about that.
Mm-hmm.
Dev Patel was in it. He was in Hereditary. He was in Life of Pi, movies like that. Like, so there was a couple like decent actors in it, but it wasn't a great script. And of course, Shyamalan has to find a way to shove himself into the film too at some point. It hit all the internet bingo points for a Shyamalan film.
So it takes place on a beach in Philadelphia somewhere, right?
Well, there are characters who are from Philadelphia, of course.
Shocked.
There are twists. There's references to Philadelphia. That's your first bingo point. There's a twist in there. That's your second bingo point. Shyamalan throws himself into the film. That's your third bingo point. There's uncomfortable close-ups of young girls who are scantily clad, which if you watch Split, you got that right there. So that's your fourth bingo point. And then there's one more, and I can't remember what the hell it was. Oh, odd illnesses that don't really exist in real life. That's your fifth bingo point. So that's your top 25 films. There were a few films that I would like to have talked about, but I didn't want to go too far with this list. There was actually a top 100. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. So stuck to the top 25. So moving on from there, I figured we'd talk about some award contenders. And I was making a joke at the beginning about how most of the award contenders I've never heard of, because the Oscars anymore just feel very pretentious, and they don't like to nominate big budget films or box office films. They like those art house films. Mm-hmm. So here are so how they broke it down on this website that I'm on. It's Variety Magazine's website. They have the predicted nominees and the nominees who have a slight chance of making the list of best pictures. And then they do the same thing for the other categories as well. So your best picture nominees most likely will be Belfast. Never heard of it. The Power of the Dog, which is on Netflix. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay.
Dune. Hey, one I've heard of.
Yeah.
West Side Story. Hey, I heard about that one too.
Yeah.
And it's a Steven Spielberg film, so it's going to get nominated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Licorice Pizza, which I haven't seen, but I heard of because it's directed. I've heard of it because it's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who did Boogie Nights. So I kind of have some familiarity.
I saw a commercial for that or something.
Yeah. Coda, which is an Apple original film. I haven't heard of it. King Richard, which stars Will Smith as the Williams
Parent to
sisters'
Venus
father,
and
Serena Williams. Yeah. The Tragedy of Macbeth, which stars Denzel Washington and is directed by the Coen brothers, which I really look forward to seeing, but it doesn't come out in theaters till January. Drive My Car, which is a Japanese film. And number 10 on the list is Don't Look Up, which is a Netflix film that I talked about before, starring Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio. I actually watched this the other night, and I was very disappointed. I expected it to be funnier. I expected it to be, just it wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be. It was also about a half hour too long. There was one really funny joke in it at the very, very end, but it wasn't worth waiting 2.5 hours to get to that one really funny joke.
I also like how the Academy lets films that come out in January be the best picture for 2001.
Well, a lot of these movies get released in like film festivals before their major release, and the film festivals are typically where like the award committees and like reviewers and journalists and stuff get to see the film before the general public does.
It's still BS.
Possible contenders, Being the Ricardos, which is the Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz biopic with Nicole Kidman. Nightmare Alley, which we've talked about on the previous show because it looks pretty good. The one with new Guillermo del Toro film with Bradley Cooper. Tick Tick Boom, which is on Netflix, which I've heard some really good things about. It stars Andrew Garfield as the guy that wrote the musical
Rent.
Yeah, and it's about it's like his life story, and it's written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did Hamilton. So it's got some potential. Looks pretty good. I might check that one out. The Lost Daughter, never heard of. No Time to Die, which would be interesting if a James Bond film gets nominated for Best Picture, because I don't think that's ever happened before. Spider-Man No Way Home, which if it gets nominated for Best Picture, it's just the Oscars going, look, we can give you a blockbuster.
And then give it like Best Cinematography.
Yeah, The Harder They Fall, which is a Western film on Netflix. Come On, I never heard of. Flea, I never heard of, and Parallel Mothers. So, you have a few possible box office things mixed in there, but it's mostly, your usual like sort of art house films that they like to nominate. So your best actors possibly this year, Will Smith is the front runner for King Richard. So according to Variety magazine, he's the one with the best odds to win the best actor nomination this year. Which I like Will Smith. I think he's a good actor. I don't know if this is like a film where he's getting it for being really good in it, or it's kind of like a well, you deserve one at some point, so here. Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog. Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom. Denzel Washington for Macbeth. And Peter Dinklage for Cyrano de Bergerac, which I talked about before, which I kind of want to see because it's Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
And then some possible nominees that might replace one of the 5 in that list. Leonardo DiCaprio for Don't Look Up, Cooper Hoffman for Licorice Pizza, who is actually the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman. He stars in that film. And you'll love this one. Kev, Nicolas Cage for the movie Pig.
Is he frozen? Kevin, are you there?
I'm here.
He looked frozen there for a minute.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of other usual names that you see in this sort of category.
What? No Tom Holland? What?
Tom Holland is in the outside chance list. Along with Keanu Reeves for Matrix Resurrections.
And Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah, that is the outside chance list. Let's see, Best Actress.
Only because he wears a mask to half the movie.
Best actress, top contender right now is Kristen Stewart for Spencer. It's Kristen Stewart playing Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Which I don't know much about the film. I've seen pictures of her. She looks really, really good. Looks a lot like Princess Diana. Lady Gaga for House of Gucci. Alana Hayam for Licorice Pizza. Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, and Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos. Those are the top 5 contenders. And then the ones with the outside chance are Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. She plays Tammy Faye Baker in that film. Frances McDermott for The Tragedy of Macbeth. Rachel Ziegler for West Side Story. And then Jennifer Lawrence, Don't Look Up, and a few other like outside chance people. Like Emma Stone for Cruella. And let's see, let's do Best Director. So Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog has the top billing. Second place for the movie Belfast is Kenneth Branagh. Oh, I didn't know he was the director of this film. I never heard of this film, so.
I've heard just talks of the actors and actresses in it. I think Patterson.
Yeah.
What's his name? Sparkly vampire guy. He's in it.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
Third on the list is Denis Villeneuve for Dune. Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza. Ryusuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car. And then your outside chance people are Spielberg for West Side Story, the Coen brothers for The Tragedy of Macbeth, Adam McKay for Don't Look Up, Guillermo del Toro for Nightmare Alley, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Tick, Tick, Boom, and a few others.
Sounds like they're setting up this Licorice Pizza to be the main.
Like, it's like the outside one. Like, you know, it'll get a lot of nominations, but probably ain't going to win much. I have a feeling the best picture is going to be this Belfast film that I've never heard of. Kenneth Branagh might finally get his Oscar that he's never gotten.
He deserved for Thor.
I would have said for Henry V, but yeah, maybe for Thor as well. So yeah, that was just. So I'm not going to go through all of them. That's my my take on some of like the films that are up there for your awards consideration. Now, for me personally, my favorite movie of the year so far, from what I've actually seen, is Dune. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was well paced. I liked that they split it in half so that they can include more of the story and not try to cram in as much as David Lynch did in his version. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was one of the most beautifully filmed movies I've ever seen. Like the imagery, the cinematography. Like I was getting distracted at some points by how beautiful it just was to look at, that I had to stop and like go back and rewatch certain scenes because I missed stuff. I was too busy like looking at the scenery or looking at the planets or looking at whatever I was looking at, because it was just very, very beautifully filmed. Which the director is really good at that. Denis Villeneuve. He did Blade Runner 2049 and he did Arrival, and both of those films have very unique looks. And narrowly beat out Suicide Squad as one of my favorite films of the year, just for the general comedy of it. Now, that being said, I don't know if after we see Spider-Man tonight, if Spider-Man might end up becoming my new favorite film.
Yeah,
it will be for me, because right now the best film I think I've seen this year was Black Widow.
It was good. It's up there. If I had to do like a top 5, Black Widow would probably be in there.
Yeah,
and then the 10 Rings.
And then I think Shang-Chi would be in there.
Yeah.
Now again, like after I see Eternals, after I see Free Guy, after I see Ghostbusters Afterlife, you know, some of those movies that I've been wanting to see that I just haven't had time for. You know, my list might change, because right now Old's on my top 5, even though it fucking sucked because I didn't really see much else this year.
Wow.
I said to
not be on my top 5.
I said to Megan before, you know, when we were talking about getting together to watch Spider-Man, I said, what was the last movie we've been to see in the theater? And I think it was Black Widow. Black Widow we saw in the theater, and that was the last one that we saw.
I watched it at home.
I watched it at home.
I can't think, like the last film that Katie and I saw in the theater together, I couldn't even tell you because it's been that long since she and I have gone to the movies together. Last one I saw in the theater myself,
I think it was the last Star Wars.
probably the last Star Wars film. Yeah, the Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, and then the last one I saw with either of you guys.
If it was with me, it would have been the musical.
La La Land.
La La Land.
Wow,
I think we
Really?
all would.
That's a long time ago.
that's a really long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime ago for Kevin.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It was.
I remember from that film, it was the lady in the back of the theater who was like, "So was that all a dream?" Like what? or when at the end I was like, "Wait, so she left Ryan Gosling to end up marrying the drummer from That Thing You Do?"
That's what you said out loud in the theater. Adrian almost lost it.
That was wow, man. That is a really long time ago. So yeah, it'll be nice tonight to get together with real people and friends and go to a theater and watch a film.
Yes.
Even though
That's
my wife won't be there, and I'll be the fifth wheel to this. This
It's
group,
okay. We'll make you feel loved.
the seats that I reserved are like the 5 like on the end of like the middle section.
Mhm.
I would appreciate if I could have the aisle seat. So I don't feel too left out.
Well, you know what?
We were gonna sandwich you. Yeah, me and Mike on either side of
It was
you.
gonna be like Megan, Kevin, me, Mike, Adrian, and then like the 3 of us could like
Yeah, and you keep the popcorn. You hold the popcorn.
we can raise the arms up between the 3 of us and just like snuggle.
Scared we hold your hand.
Get one of the girls to take a picture of us. So, oh god. So thank you for joining us for episode 42, our year in review. This was a pretty quick episode, but there wasn't really too much that we, were planning on talking about for this. Our next show, episode 43, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a review of Spider-Man No Way Home. What do you think?
I think that's what we should do.
I think that's what we should do as well. What's up, Mike?
Oh, we think we froze him.
Oh,
That
no.
sounds like a
he's
plan to
frozen.
me.
You're stuck in carbonite.
No. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know. You guys look fine to me.
I'm thinking. I was thinking we do a review of Spider-Man No Way Home for the next episode.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
All right, so join us next week. We'll be dropping this episode on Monday, episode 42. Episode 43 will be a review of Spider-Man No Way Home. So again, drop us a line at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com. Visit us on Instagram at filmsandfermentation, facebook.com/filmsandfermentation, or on our website filmsandfermentation.weebly.com. Also, don't forget to go out and buy your 6-pack of Quaker Rage Oatmeal Stout.
Guys. Guess what I got for Christmas?
What?
A home brewing kit. Quaker Rage is now not just a dream; it's a possibility.
Oh shit!
Possibility of a disappointment, but we'll see what happens.
Wow.
Well, stouts are hard to make. We'll see.
The kind of beers I like. What makes you think it's going to taste like shit?
It's going to probably taste like cinnamon and vanilla and the dreams of babies.
You know what's going to taste like
unicorn farts.
Because he's going to use inverted pork rectum.
That's right.
That's why it's
inverted pork rectum and oats.
Pork rectum beer. Rectum, I hardly know him. So we'll see. Yeah, okay. Well, now we're going off the rails. So we'll see you all for episode 43. Thank you for joining us again. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We hope you enjoyed listening to our episode as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Cheers, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New
Year.
Hopefully.
Fuck off, 2021.
Yeah, fuck off, 2021. All right, guys.